would impede their view from across the street. And they're not even on a water side, you know. That's
Okay, we're left.
All right, so we'll call to order the meeting of the Zoning Adjustment Board, City of Ocean Springs, Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the December 17th meeting. And has anybody had a chance to review those? Anybody have any corrections? There was a lot of discussion last meeting.
That was a long meeting.
Yeah. Anyone? Make a motion?
Even Elizabeth got all of it. Looks great.
Well, that was not me this time, but thank you. That was
You
Amanda.
like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Minutes are approved. We'll move on to the next item is old business, and we have none, so we'll move on to new business. First item on the agenda is 1217 Sunset Avenue, parcel ID number 60119030.110, requesting approval of a variance for a side setback from 10 feet to 6 feet on the southwest side to construct an elevated platform. So Elizabeth, if you'll
All right, the
introduce the
applicant,
request.
as you stated before, is requesting a variance of a side setback from 10 feet to 6 feet on the southwest side of the property to construct a 6-foot by 53-foot elevated platform connecting the front and the rear porches for the purpose of to elevate the HVAC and the electrical system. The property is zoned R1, low density, single family residential, and there is only a single family residential dwelling on the property. The minimum lot area is 13,500 square feet, which the property does meet that requirement, and the minimum lot width is 100 feet, which the survey reflects that it's 86 feet wide. So basically, it meets the minimum lot area, but not the minimum lot width of R1 zoning. Now, this property is located in the Marble Springs Historic District, so if this variance is granted, they will have to go before the Historic Board in order to continue with the design of it and things like that, to make sure it's in harmony with the Historic District. The legal ad was posted in the Sun Herald on January 25th, 2026. The Zoning and Adjustment Board sign was placed on the property on January 26th, 2026. And notifications were mailed out to adjacent property owners within 500-foot radius on January 21st, 2026. The time that this was published, we didn't have a public comment, but today we received one. It is in the front little folder. What do you call that? I'm sorry.
The front packet.
Yeah, the front little
pocket.
slot of pocket, there you go, of your folder. And it is in opposition to the request. We'd like to make a motion to take that into the minutes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, so, yep, we've got this, so if we need to get this added to the minutes, so do we have a motion to add this public feedback to the official record?
A motion to add the public comment for the applicant.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? All right, so it's official record. Do I need to read it for online? Do I need to read it so that the people online know? Okay, all right. All right, so this letter states the proposed variance raises several significant concerns. that I believe are inconsistent with the intent of the current zoning regulations and the established character of our historic street. First, the requested variance would hinder existing sightlines and views from our home at 1212 Sunset Avenue. This is our only view of the Back Bay waterfront and is a very valuable part of why we chose to live on this beautiful street. Second, the variance has the potential to negatively impact our property values. Home in this neighborhood were developed with the understanding that zoning standards and setbacks would be upheld. Granting this variance decreases our home's water view and could adversely affect its market value. Third, the proposal would result in increased encroachments between homes in a neighborhood intentionally designed with oversized lots. The generous lot sizes are a defining characteristic of that area, allowing construction that diminishes these separations, erodes the very qualities that distinguish this neighborhood from more densely developed areas. In addition, the requested variance is incompatible with the historic character and planning principles of our beautiful street. Granting this variance would set a precedent that can invite further deviations, gradually altering the character of the area in ways that are difficult to reverse. Lastly, I don't believe adding a wraparound 50-foot deck is the necessary size and scale for trying to raise HVAC utilities. I believe finding an alternate location or solution would be in the best interest of everyone. For these reasons, I respectfully urge the board to deny the requested variance and to uphold the zoning standards that protect the interest of the broader community. Thank you for your time and consideration and service. Sincerely, Dr. and Mrs. Joshua A. Coker, 1212 Sunset Avenue. All right. Any questions for staff before we bring the applicant up?
I didn't view it, but my question is, where's the outside air conditioner AC unit now? And if there's a generator, where is it now?
Yeah, we'll ask you when you come up. There's no questions for staff right now. If anyone would like to come up and speak in favor of this request. And
I have one question for staff. Do neighbors, specifically the commenting neighbor, would they own the sky rights if they wanted to raise their property? There wouldn't be anything that would inhibit them from doing that. Like if they wanted to elevate their property to better their view, is that something they could do? There's nothing that would prevent them from doing such?
Don't necessarily know about that. We've never had that question necessarily come up.
The only thing would be, if it's in a floodplain, you can't add fill in a floodplain. Part of the discussion we had at the last meeting about floodplain, I don't think this area is in a floodplain.
Each zoning district has height requirements, restrictions, where you can only, go so high.
Okay, got it.
But it looks like, Will, that this person that's making the concern isn't even on the water side. So,
You said they're across the street.
Yeah, we
It's
tried
across
to
the street
we
from
tried
the-
to pull it up on GIS on our phones, but if you look at the GIS map that's provided in the packet across the street, there is a 1212, so you can see where this address is.
So it looks like that it's slightly higher elevation than across the street.
Too it sounds like we maybe got some questions for the applicant, so if it's okay, I'll go ahead and bring him up. Good with that, Will?
Yes.
Okay, all right. If you would come up in the microphone, state your
Just
name.
handle this before I walk over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It kind of answers this question.
yeah, and if you'll state your name and address for the record in the microphone, please.
I only made one copy.
that's okay.
Jeremy Holland.
Is that microphone on? Is it picking up? Okay.
All the panels, electrical come up to right there. So the generator's not run like a new construction house, so, they'll tie it all in.
It may be loud enough to pick up. There we go, we got it. So name and address for the record.
Yeah, Jeremy Holland, 17 Sunset.
All right, and if there's anything you want to add, I know you handed us this showing a kind of sort of.
So that's the
We're looking
design.
for a perspective view of the design of
Yeah.
of the, yeah.
That's the design that I turned into the store.
Is your current HVAC sitting on that side? Are we gonna
That
just
is-
elevate it? Is that-
Exactly, that's them in the bottom
Yeah,
right-hand side. For that picture, you can kind of see the fans.
So this is not new construction, this is an existing home
the
that you're choosing to add,
the AC.
asking to add to raise it.
Correct, correct, because
Is it
roughly
insured?
Those are just
20 grand
losers.
worth of equipment
Yeah.
sitting on grade level right now.
Is it a requirement to insurance? Do they get an improved rate or anything like that for elevating those systems?
They won't cover anything on the ground level.
So it's not covered where it's currently located?
So raising it, they would
Insures
cover
it.
it because it's on the level of the first floor.
What about other houses in the area? So there's two adjacent houses?
So, yeah,
I'm sorry.
there's a house on either side of
And where is their HVAC?
their HVACs. I don't know where Charles's is, but the one that is between those two property lines where I'm asking for that variance, his sits on the ground. But his house is also not elevated. His house is slab on grade.
So it's in, you said it's in, so it's essentially under the structure?
Correct, that's
And
the
those are
two, yes,
Okay, okay.
that's the two condensing units. The generator's not in the picture because the generator's not there.
Okay.
So this is the back porch, right?
So that's the,
Southwest.
looking at the side next to the neighbor.
This is the
Right.
back. This would be the side.
Yeah, so that view is right, like looking from here this way.
Right.
Driving down.
And they're here, he wants to put them up here by adding this, correct?
Yeah, so we can insure it, so it's
Yeah,
6
okay.
feet wide, but 53 feet long.
And it does connect the front and back porches. Essentially, if I connect it to the front porch, I don't have to build a separate set of stairs to get there. You can essentially just walk from the street across and walk all the way around.
Or is this, I didn't look in the survey. Are you in a flood zone?
Sure, that is a flood
yeah.
zone. It's the marsh right there.
It should be
Close.
like
Yeah.
80.
Well, I'm just wondering what the elevation is and, yeah.
I do have a flood certificate. I did.
And was it a requirement, or was it not a requirement then, that's a requirement now? Like, if you were to build this house today, would you have to elevate? Are you to where, in a flood zone, to where it would have to be elevated?
If you wanted to insure it, correct?
If I wanted to insure it, they would probably want it at a higher elevation than it is now. I mean, it had 4 inches of water in it during Katrina. So they would-
The main floor?
The main floor. So the insurance company would probably say, hey, let's get above that, the new floodplain. The house was constructed in 2004.
There's a heat pump, so it's 2 units or 1 unit?
That's 2 heat pumps.
2 heat pumps, yeah.
And about the person's view of this, the water, 2 years ago, there was a massive oak tree that grew between the two houses. And the previous owners asked to have it cut down because it was damaging the foundation. They didn't have a view 2 years ago. So,
How long have they lived there across the street, do you know?
I have no idea.
They've
I
grown
don't want
to
any
like
beef
it.
with new neighbors just moving in.
No, I understand.
Any
So
further questions?
So it impacts the view. I'll just put a number on that or something like that, but I mean, there's such thing as blocking out and there's, almost,
This is the water, just.
right, I'm just trying to,
And it's only
I'm trying to
gonna be-
justify that it actually blocks it or something like that.
I believe their elevation's higher than mine, so I think from their house, you're looking down anyway at my house. Not much, but you are, is.
So what I guess I'm trying to, so does it block it or is it, block seems like such a harsh word. Minimal impact or something like that, I don't know
Yeah, I don't.
I'm trying to go with it, but anyway.
I can't help you with that one, other than the fact that if I planted a new tree right there, it would grow and grow and grow
Yeah.
and block their view as the same. Not that I have plans on doing that.
Right.
I just want to get the mechanical equipment up off the grade level and get it up to the same elevation as the house. my opinion is if it floods that much, I've got bigger problems than worrying about the HVAC equipment. I've got a whole house to redo at that point.
But initially was put in, the HVAC was installed. Are you the original owner?
No, sir.
Okay, you bought it.
But the HVAC units, from what I learned from the previous owners, used to sit outside the house
Right.
and on a little platform, and then they just took them and put them, they didn't want to see them, so they shoved them underneath the house.
Any further questions for the applicant?
I can't think of any.
It looks like it's trying to solve two problems at once. I'm thinking that you could probably put the Generac or whatever, the generator. I have a neighbor that their house power box was on the other side of the house. And they ran a line, I think it runs through the attic and comes down to the house power box. So my question is, either in the back of the house or on the other side of the house, is there a way that you could do that and then run the line to the generator? I know that's not going to solve the problem of getting the two air conditioning units up higher.
Yeah, the generator could be located and elevated around the back side of the house, which wouldn't require any variance at all. It's just money to run the lines. And the other thing this platform does, it's not in there, you can barely see in the picture, but the power company service now is 6 feet off the ground. So it's just like everybody else's house, it's at this elevation. And in that, if it's approved, I've already talked to Mississippi Power, they will relocate it up on the same elevation as that deck. And so then I kill another bird, I don't have to worry about the meter and the panel going underwater.
So there's not enough room to elevate the two AC units
Yes, I would.
where they are now, because you hit the ceiling.
Yes, sir, that's correct. That's correct. And I talked with the general contractor about doing some other things, and you can make the deck smaller, but if you make the deck, and not be encroaching on the property line, you kind of make the deck useless. You wouldn't be able to get around. You probably wouldn't be able to service the air conditioning units. It would just, if I'm gonna go through the expense of putting the columns in to build the deck, I might as well build it to where you can actually service the equipment.
Well, it looks like where the AC units are, even if the deck were shorter, if there was an 8 or 10 foot deck, the AC units up toward the front of the house, so they're still gonna have the same complaint if the deck was shorter than 50 feet. If the deck was shorter, it's still gonna.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Yeah, I guess what I was trying to say earlier, so AC units are what, 3 feet tall or?
Yeah, they're
Approximately.
probably, I would say roughly.
Yeah,
2.5
approximately.
Yeah.
So, okay, I was just gonna confirm the obvious.
So the AC units won't be any taller than the hammer.
Right.
So,
Further questions for the applicant?
It looks to me like
And how much is what's the variance cost?
to move the whole thing, to move the house power box and the AC units and everything to another location of the house would be terribly expensive.
So would
You know,
leaving it as well would be,
But it saves you in the long run during a storm,
yeah.
flooding and otherwise.
I know that the complainant had mentioned the lot size being large for the neighborhood, however, not the width. And that is where power comes from. It comes from the side, so that really only gives you the option to reroute it to the back, which again would be significant cost, and I'm not even sure that would.
Yeah, it looks like the other side of this house, the north side looks like it's got a garage on it, doesn't it?
the north side has an open garage.
Yeah.
and you probably want it on the side so y'all can sit out and entertain on the back and not have your generator trying to have a conversation. I understand.
Well,
Or the air conditioning
Yeah.
units.
and, you know, like
That's
you
right.
mentioned, I mean, it's right there,
That's
so.
least
cost.
resistance.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
the cost is go up, right there, where you already are, instead of relocating, so. All right, well, if there's nothing else for the applicant, I'll just, you can go have a seat. If something else comes up, we'll bring you back up, all right? There's nobody else here in the audience to speak for or against the request. We had the.
He's not there. You have an opinion?
So we did have the one letter that came in, in opposition. All right, so now we, open up for discussion, and questions for the staff, and I'll say this, there's plenty of hardship, I think, that we all see. But the only thing, that's always going to get me in the UDC is, this whole 25%, that is the maximum we're allowed.
I was gonna say, when he's asking for,
10 to 6.
So we can give by the UDC 2 feet,
Alright, that's
and he's requesting 4 feet.
How, I mean,
he's, okay.
it's just, there is a limit, and you don't want it to be too narrow. You want to be able to get through it. So I'm wondering if how would that affect the size of the 6 foot? So if we took, would it be 4 feet?
So we're allowed 25. He's asking for 40. So you would have a 6 foot clear.
Or the deck itself, like the only fix to that would be to, 6 feet from the
Property line.
I got it. Sorry.
Instead of the required 10 feet.
4-foot spread, whatever.
I mean, there's multiple hardships. I see the financial hardship, the shallowness hardship. There is a. I definitely understand the reason for this.
I think, it's just me. I think it's Zab's job to do what we're allowed to do within the UDC. And if, the Board of Aldermen want to overrule that decision, and I hate saying push it to the board to decide because, we're the recommending body, but we only have what we have in the UDC to recommend by.
So if you go down that path, we can approve 2, correct?
Correct.
And there's still 4 to go.
Well, 2 more. So 4 total.
Total 4.
Correct.
So there's 2 more to go.
Correct.
How do you, where do you get the other 2? Who's gonna give up the other 2? How does that work?
Well, there would have to, be a redesign or.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to make a recommendation that's not exactly what's on the application. So I'm kind of looking this at either we should be able to give them what they want or not. Yep. But I'm inclined to, it's a hard one. It's tough because I definitely understand the need for elevating your utilities, and so.
Now, elevated platforms for utilities, that's considered part of the house and can't go in the setback, or is that?
It doesn't count on my property when it's a concrete, right?
So if you have just a platform, say you have your HVAC, and your HVAC, I'm just gonna take a guess, I'm not sure if it's 3 foot by 4 foot.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen plenty of houses where the HVAC system is literally on a platform by itself. There's no rail, it's just sitting up on a platform, it's off the ground, it's elevated.
Yeah.
Typically, your setbacks go from your stairs or the side of your building. So in this case, it's almost, a walkway with a railing is gonna be considered more of stairs and a structure, that's gonna be the side of your house.
Gotcha.
But if you had just the platform with the HVAC unit on there, again, you wouldn't have the walkability, you wouldn't, I've seen lots of houses where you don't have steps, you just
Yeah.
go out there with a ladder.
Yeah.
It's harder to maintain, but I've seen it both ways. In this case, since the request is for a 6 foot by 53 foot elevated platform with the to access the full entire porch, it's more of a side setback and not just for HVAC utilities.
Yeah, makes sense.
Is there any way to do a deck so it's not considered like a part of the house? I guess it always is. If it's like
I mean,
detached.
That high up in the air, you wouldn't want to have a deck.
Detached.
It's a safety
Yeah, with-
issue
with
to not,
nothing.
it's a building safety issue to not
Yeah.
have the railing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's,
There's no way around that. I'm sorry, I'm not an engineer. I'm like,
I don't
Yeah.
think the building department would approve, so.
yeah, there's the building code too.
And it'd be, you'd think, it'd be better to build a deck instead of scab on to the pilings and put 2 units and a generator up there. That's a lot of weight.
Mhm. Yeah, especially when you get the generator added in.
Those seem to be kind of unsightly. I mean, I guess there's certain people that could say that that is unsightly. So there's that too. So
Yeah. And I mean, he's got it. It's
Do you have a gas feed at the roadside, or do you have a tank?
No, that Blossman's putting it.
Okay.
That's another
yes,
issue. Whoever sells our gas doesn't want to sell gas anymore. I've been waiting 6 months for them to put a line in, and it's at the street. Everybody around me has gas at their house, but they're not, I guess they don't need to sell gas.
Yeah.
Are they gonna let
they
you?
transferred ownership recently. So
My daughter's house has got a similar situation, and hers sits on its own deck. I think there's, if my memory serves me correct, I think she's got like 4 8-foot square pilings or posts that go up. And I have noticed that hers is actually the deck that's built up there. There's nothing else on it but her AC units. But it's actually higher than the floor. Like where yours are now, and then you got the ceiling. Her deck, I guess because of Katrina, her deck's higher than where the water level was. The AC units would be higher than what you're proposing with your request. But the fact that you have about 4 inches of water, Katrina, the same situation, that those AC units are still gonna get wet.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep them from our like the ones we've had over the last 10 or 12 years that are, 6-8 foot of storm surge that
Yeah.
not have caused me any heartache at all, and now the air conditioned units are trashed.
Well, my question is, of course, I hadn't ridden out there and looked at it and everything, but he mentioned the house across the street.
It's really-
Over there was a little higher. My question would be, could it be that if he put those units on the deck and elevated it above his floor level by a couple more feet, which would, might be better suited, that he may not get water in them that way, but the fact that the deck would be elevated, could it be with the guy across the street would be looking under him, not be in his field of view is what I'm saying.
It's possible. I never have walked in his yard and
Yeah.
Which side of the house is the proposed unit's gonna go on the,
That is the
This side.
on this side? Okay, okay,
west.
all right.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say the other one, but that's fine.
So, I mean, I've got, the FEMA firm map pulled up, firm panel, and it is, your house is in flood zone, your BFE is 16. I don't know what your ground elevation is, so I don't know if to date, if you go and tried to do something, if they said, oh, no, everything's gotta be up, or how that would work, because I don't know the ground elevation, finished floor of the house. But it is in a flood zone, so.
Yeah, given this house was like on high elevation and they just put a concrete pad, we wouldn't even be here right now. It's literally just because it is on the marsh, very low lying, and unfortunately the width of the lot slightly is under what the zoning is, but if we were on a property that wasn't in a flood zone and they could put it on the ground, we wouldn't be here. Correct? I mean, you wouldn't want to build
You're correct.
a deck for no reason.
So it's the historic district has some say in this, apparently?
Yeah, that aspect of it is their call.
Old cemetery back there, in that area.
Yeah, I don't know. Put it on them.
Well,
Well-
if the variance is approved, sorry to interject,
Yeah.
if the variance is approved, by the Board of Aldermen, that would be the next step, is to go through a meeting with the historic committee, and let them approve. They've approved the look, the color, everything. Material, what it's made out of, and they'll have to have pictures and approve the look of it and location.
Right. So,
You're saying if we approve it, it's still gonna go to the Board of Aldermen?
Right. Because you're just a recommending body, and the board makes the final decision from that point. And whatever that decision, if they approve it, then it goes to the historic
so
preservation.
they got two more steps.
And if we were to deny, or the board denies, then obviously it doesn't go to the historic, because until you get an approval, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, this application, since my short tenure, does seem like a perfect textbook for the shallowness aspect of the hardship. It does exceed what we are required, but it does fit in perfectly to, this is an issue due to the elevation. So, as much as I really do want to be, I do believe in the UDC and staying to it. That it's kind of tough for me. It's something I'm considering.
Now, the UDC, everything's a case-by-case basis.
It's a part. Yeah, it just fits so well into the hardship.
Yeah, but that's what I'm, stuck on, is the 25%. So I don't think,
Could you
Yeah.
lose it because you exceeded your,
That is our statutory authority.
with the Board of Aldermen could say you exceeded your statutory limitations and therefore it's.
They already
null and
have
void.
once.
well, I mean, if we approve, the board can approve or deny. If we deny, the board can approve or deny. So they can do whatever they
So it
want
doesn't-
based on our decision.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a recommending body. We said, hey, we looked at all facts and this is what we recommend. And then the board says yay or nay to that.
Then they'll tell us why. They'll discuss it. They'll pull it. And
Yeah.
Amanda, are you saying that if he had a separate deck, like I mentioned, and he even went higher than the floor level he's talking about, let's say he went up another 2 or 3 feet, and he moved it a little further back, maybe, or, I'm sure he's probably got a deck across the back, so you can't put it in the back, it's big noise. But he wouldn't have a problem if it were sitting on the deck? Is that what you're saying? It's not attached to the house?
Well, I think, you're not gonna go build just a structure sticking up in the air, because his point of connecting it to the decks is
Yeah.
being able to access it. Well, if you're off to the side, just up in the air, well, guess what? Now you can't access it, without the ladder.
The ladder,
Yeah, yeah. Which goes back to, you could just have the individual platform, my house.
Yeah.
My house on that side,
Okay.
I have 2 or 3 AC units, and they're elevated just on a standard platform.
Yeah.
They're not, connected to
Okay.
my deck or anything like
Yeah.
that. They're just sticking up in the air. I have to go get a ladder anytime, I got a big oak tree, so anytime I want to go clean, the leaves, blow it off, anything.
But if he did that,
ladder,
that
climb up it.
wouldn't be a problem with it
Correct. If
at
it
all.
was,
But what about with the historical?
yeah, the historical, anytime you make them, any
on the
changes,
exterior,
they would have to review it.
Yes, they have
Yeah.
to review it.
But he
That's
would
it.
not have an issue with us. It would strictly be the historical.
Correct. If it were just on
Just
its
the
own
deck.
individual platform, not
Okay.
connected to any of the other decks, he
Literally,
wouldn't
it's
need to
just
be
a
here today.
platform
Yeah.
with your AC unit.
He
Just
can
mechanical
go
at that
build
point.
it right now.
That still doesn't change the view,
It's not gonna.
right, that still blocks the view, right? I mean, I'll see kind of,
Yeah.
And if you want the nice view, you buy the property on the water.
I'm good. Where you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody like to make a motion, or?
I make a motion to recommend approval of the variance to reduce the required southwest side setback from 10 feet to 6 feet to construct a 6 foot by 53 foot elevated platform connecting the front and rear porch for the purpose of elevating the HVAC and electrical system at 1217 Sunset Avenue.
Based on one of those
Width,
approval, yeah.
Yeah, the narrowness and shallowness of the shape of the specific piece of property at the time of the original adoption of the regulations.
Okay, so we have a motion to recommend approval of the variance to reduce the setback from 10 feet to 6 feet. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. I'll give it to Will. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All nay. All right, so the motion passes. This will be on Board of Aldermen consent agenda next, not Tuesday,
Next month.
The 18th,
Wednesday.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
Wednesday.
Yes, it's moved to Wednesday because of the Mardi Gras holiday. So next Wednesday at 6 o'clock in this room. It's on consent agenda for approval. So it shouldn't, unless somebody wants to pull it off to discuss it. But I can't say one way or the other whether or not an alderman's going to pull it off to discuss it. So you shouldn't have to be here, but you might have to be here. So. All right. So next item on the agenda, audience request. The audience like to come up and discuss anything? All right. No other requests. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion. Do we have second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Drawing back.
Minutes,
Thank you.
minutes to the packet, if you don't mind, make a copy.
Yeah.
Heather's copy.